I am going to toot my own horn for a moment.
I love that we're opening this way. Yes, continue.
A few days ago, I read Avi. We were at Dad's. He's great, by the way. The place is awesome and fun. But I was reading to him every night of our road trip, and he loved it. And we got to the point where the voice of Saruman, where Saruman is trying to manipulate everyone. And apparently I did such a good job with Theoden saying, "We shall have peace," that Avi absolutely bought it. And then when Theoden launches into "We shall have peace when you're dead and all of your works are scattered and you're hanging by a gibbet," and Avi lost it. He was laughing and clapping. He's like, "I can't believe he said that." And
excellent.
Not just that, but when that scene opens with the window opens and you hear a voice saying, "Who has come to speak to Saruman?" Avi's like, "Oh, that's Wormtongue's voice." And I was like, yes it is. Doing it right. Yeah. Afterwards, and then Gandalf kicks Saruman's butt with rhetoric, and he crawls away, and I was like, so who's the bigger, who's got the bigger balls in this scene, Theoden or Gandalf? And he was like, "Oh,
Theoden." Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not. I really love how into it he is. I love how much he's invested in this story. It brings me great joy.
That is a joyful thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you allergic to, madam? That would be the cat.
She has a human allergy.
She better not. She sleeps in my bed. It's gonna be awkward.
It doesn't matter. You're Fae.
Don't tell the whole internet. What was I going to say? Oh, things that bring me great joy, not related to Lord of the Rings. But so I get Domino's like once a week. That's like my, thing. And I got their chocolate lava crunch cakes for the first time today.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
So good. Oh my God. I've been holding off because I didn't realize like the crunch part was going to make such a difference. And I was like, oh, I could chocolate lava cakes, whatever. Like I can get those from Trader Joe's. The crunch though.
I can't eat them.
I know, but I wanted to tell you anyway because it made me happy.
I am still happy vicariously. Eat an extra one for me next time.
I probably will not have room because they're very sweet, but I will think of you when I eat.
Thank you.
They come in packs of 2.
Right. Big old. Oh, dang it. I took him upstairs. There's one I didn't take upstairs. Hang on. On our journey, we kept finding winged insects that had died, and then I was collecting them like a weirdo. And this is the first one of these that I've tried to make, and I just used a regular moth wing. And look how translucent it got. Like,
yeah, you can't even tell there's a wing in there.
Right? Hang on. If it holds still, can we? Hello?
I don't know if that's going to come across on camera. I can't really, like, you can sort of tell there's a moth wing in it, but not really.
Right?
It just looks like kind of clear.
Yeah, like a glass teardrop thing. But that's, I took them upstairs, but we found a dead false monarch, and I did the same thing, and it was a little tidier around the edges, but they turned out so well. And it's freaky. I don't know why the wing goes translucent when you embed it in resin, but it does. And so now I've got like these stained glass monarch wings with the light that shines through them. I'm like, I need to start wearing earrings again.
Sounds like.
Or give them to a friend who does. It's Jay's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Drea. I thought you said Jay for a second. I was like, who is Jay?
Right? I don't know if Drea wears earrings. We'll look into it.
Drea, if you're watching this, sound off in the comments.
Right?
I mean, she's not watching right now, but
anybody's. I don't think we get watched. I think we're going to get discovered. We're going to be part of like a internet archaeology thing. There's going to be digital archaeologists sifting through the past and sorting the memes from the actual news stories, and they're going to find us and be like,
I don't know if I want to be discovered. Leave me to my crypt.
Yes, leave us.
Well, I will be working on this lovely thing today. It is a swatch for, it really doesn't come through on camera, but it's a swatch for, this is silk. I got this at the yarn store after we had lunch, and I'm going to make a little like crop top out of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it soft? It looks soft.
It's got a really cool texture. It's like rustic silk, so it doesn't feel like slippery.
So it's
like
kind of nubbly.
Not exactly nubbly. It's like somewhere in the middle. It's really interesting. I've never felt any silk quite like it, but yeah, it's just really, it's really nice.
I had a rustic silk shirt at one point in my life that was, no, it was raw silk, but it was knitted. Mm-hmm. But it had a soft but doubly texture.
Yeah, that sort of like that slubby kind of feeling. Yeah.
Nice and slubby.
I'll be interested to see what this is like when it's washed.
I have, I think I told you, I recently bought a book of Neil Gaiman nonfiction, just like his introductions and speeches and things.
View from the Cheap Seats, right?
That's the one. And he, in one of the essays I was just reading, he described Tolkien's analogy of fairy tales getting relegated like nursery furniture as robust and fusty. And I was like, how did you find that combination of words? You fucking wizard.
Sounds like an extremely weird burlesque duo.
Yes. Yes, and his robust and fusty analogy, and I was like, Nom. Where the hell were we?
Actually, I do know. Sam was like beating on the doors, but they were shut, I believe.
Oh, dear freaking God. That means that's why there's no
bookmark.
There's no bookmark in Return of the King, because we hadn't started it yet. Well, I guess we took an appropriate place for a break then.
Yes. Sorry, the no was for the cat. She was trying to get into the yarn. We haven't learned about yarn yet.
Oh dear. I like the notion of digital archaeologists.
I'm sure there will be such a thing.
We're not there yet.
Well, no, we don't have enough digital history. At this point, they're more sort of just digital garbage men. Because really, the difference between an archaeologist and a garbage man is time.
Garbage men don't necessarily take an interest, though. It's more like hoarders.
But archaeologists don't keep the things. They just study them.
Right.
Are you going to make this difficult?
The picture in my head is of an old lady with a shopping cart filled with trash bags.
Yeah, I don't know that's not really where I'm thinking. Because, like, I don't know, archaeologists just spend a lot of time looking at trash, but, like...
Treasure hunters.
There we go.
Granted, the assumption with treasure hunting is that you keep it, but the treasure that archaeologists seek is knowledge.
Indeed, I am not going to be able to knit with this cat right now. So everyone will just have to watch my cat.
Hello, Junie.
She's committing a crime. She's not allowed on the table.
But
if I push her off, then that gives... Yeah. And if I push her off, then that gives her attention, which is what she wants when she gets on the table.
Oh.
So one moment. I need to get rid of this yarn, and I'll be right back.
Okay. I will find our spot, which is chapter 1, page 1. Well, page 3. I don't remember if it's my turn, but we'll pretend we remember.
You have your own toys.
Oh, I wanted to show you another neat thing that is tiny. We get those really strong... Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you another neat thing that is tiny. We get those little extract bottles from Michael's that are really strong flavors.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The labels peel off really easily. So I've got these.
Nice.
Ignore the lid. I tried Sculpeying the lid. That's why it's a mess. But that's just because when you Sculpey the lid, you end up with things like this. And
Neat.
It's a potion bottle. So I made a couple of them while gaming last week. Well, week before last. I like this one, even though I have no idea what it's about.
I was just thinking, it's like sort of a cross between a butterfly and a scorpion.
Yeah. It's also got those big beetles. Not the rhino beetles, but they've got...
The pincery ones. Are we sure they're not rhino beetles? I feel like they are.
If it's this way, it's a rhino beetle. If it's this way, it's like some other kind of beetle.
Oh.
Whatever. It makes me think of a beetle. And I'm okay with this. And it turns out those lids don't melt in the oven. I did already cook one to harden the Sculpey, and it turned out fine. So I was like, woot.
Excellent.
Chapter 1. Minas Tirith. Pippin looked out from the shelter of Gandalf's cloak. He wondered if he was awake or still sleeping, still in the swift-moving dream in which he had been wrapped so long since the great ride began. Is this really where we are?
It's sounding pretty familiar, so maybe not?
I seem to recall Gandalf giving the guys building the wall a hard time for it.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, all right. So we were a few pages in.
Also, I think that might mean it's my turn to read because I'm pretty sure you read that part.
It does sound familiar. I feel like next time we take a break, we ought to go back and watch the last episode. Or
that makes too much sense.
Making stuff.
But also, since I can't craft, if I read, then you can craft.
Right.
You do not have a saboteur in your house.
I do, but not in this room.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to go grab my book.
What things could I do? What should I do? Yep. Townlands were rich. Did we read the description?
What?
Fare you well and sleep not. I'm pretty sure that's where we stopped.
Okay.
Because had we already read the description of the Pelennor Fields? I don't think we had.
I don't think we had, no.
All right, on my copy, that's page 6, where there's a gap.
So my copy is numbered sequentially with the other two books. So let me just... Fare you well and sleep not. Okay, cool. Found it.
Excellent.
What you gonna do?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't actually considered that. I think I have been having the worst time getting my ducks in a row to start drawing the illustrations for Balance Dance. So I'm going to go fetch one of those and start working on that because I have no excuse, if you're reading to me, not to work on this thing.
That sounds delightful.
It's kind of a goal to have the illustrations done in time to publish it for spring equinox. So that's a thing. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. Thank God she's gone. No, just kidding. Well, while she's gone, we're all gonna look at my cat. Cat. She's being the neighborhood watch right now. There are people outside. They must be observed. What do you think?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, internet. All right. So, colored pencils. Hoi. And Jason made me these boards so that I could keep hanging my work up on the wall while I'm working on it. And yes, I'm going to be doing these illustrations are colored pencil on Bristol. So that's going to be an interesting change from all of the acrylics and watercolors I've done this past year. Or 9. I don't know. It's been a while.
It has been a minute. Oh my gosh. I swear, I keep touching my hair, but it's because this one piece keeps falling.
Maybe they're taking turns. Maybe it's not the same one over and over.
No, it's the same one over and over.
Okay. Do. God, this thing is huge. I don't need my Sculpey. I might have issues. Oh well, you guys can see some of it.
We can see an amount.
Can see an amount, and now I have to find my sketches, which are somewhere in here. No, those aren't them. This was a sort of all-purpose sketchbook. Oh my. There's the Cracks comic. Anyway. Oh yeah, those are important. That's not. What in the flopping? This is stuff I want to do for the house.
Oh yeah.
On a grid.
Mm-hmm.
The money and time grid.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was clever.
I like it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Ooh, there's my sexy Sir Bedivere costume.
Nice. Oh, I've been hearing great things about the Green Knight. Have you heard about that?
I have heard of it. I've seen the preview. It looked incredibly violent, but also really, really cool.
I don't really know. Like, I know the legend of the Green Knight, but I don't know how closely they're sticking to it or anything. But I've just heard that it's like really, really just fun and Arthurian, and I'm down.
Nice. I like fun and Arthurian.
Mm-hmm. And Dev Patel.
I did a sketch for the town. I'm going to be trying to do folk art, so this is really outside of my comfort zone.
Sounds fun. Stretching your skills.
Doing my damnedest. I got stuff printed out. Wet Wince. Oh man. Nostalgia Critic covered American Tail this week, and there was a bit with the mouse that I'd forgotten about, who was like, "We shall hold a wowie," and he's like, "Yeah, I know you shouldn't make fun of people with speech impediments or accents, but I have a everything Madeline Kahn does is funny clause in my." I was like, "Oh God, that was Madeline, wasn't it?" You're not wrong. All right. Wish me luck and start in on the description of the Ramasecor.
All right. Gandalf passed now into the wide land beyond the Ramasecor. So the men of Gondor called the outwall that they had built with great labor after Ithilien fell under the shadow of their enemy. For 10 leagues or more it ran from the mountain's feet and so back again, enclosing in its fence the fields of the Pelennor, fair and fertile townlands on the long slopes and terraces falling to the deep levels of the Anduin. At its furthest point from the great gate of the city, northeastward, the wall was 4 leagues distant, and there was from a frowning bank it overlooked the long flats beside the river, and men had made it high and strong, for at that point, upon a walled causeway, the road came in from the fords and bridges of Osgiliath, and passed through a guarded gate between embattled towers. At its nearest point, the wall was little more than 1 league from the city, and that was southeastward. There Anduin, going in a wide knee about the hills of Emin Arnen and South Ithilien, bent sharply west, and the outwall rose upon its very brink, and beneath it lay the quays and landings of the Harlund, for craft that came upstream from the southern fiefs. The townlands were rich, with wide tilth and many orchards, and homesteads there were with Oast and Garner, Fold and Byre. What's Oast?
Oast. I am not sure what Oast is, but I know that's the word.
Right, it's not a typo. He's not saying they had oats.
Nope.
We're just going to Google that real quick.
Thank you. I have often wondered.
Oast, a usually conical kiln used for drying hops, malt, or tobacco.
That wasn't even in my top 10 guesses.
Same. I'm searching Oast and Garner because now I need to know what Garner means in this context.
Right?
Most of the references to that are about Lord of the Rings. Oh, a storehouse for grain. So they had kilns and storehouses.
Nice.
Okay.
As any prosperous land should.
Mm-hmm. And many rills rippling through the green from the highlands down to Anduin. Yet the herdsmen and husbandmen that dwelt there were not many, and the most part of the people of Gondor lived in the 7 circles of the city, or in the high vales of the mountain borders in Losana, or further south in fair Lebanon with its 5 swift streams. There dwelt a hardy folk between the mountains and the sea. They were reckoned men of Gondor, yet their blood was mingled, and there were short and swarthy folk among them, whose sires came more from the forgotten men who housed in the shadow of the hills in the dark years ere the coming of the kings. But beyond, in the great fief of Belfalis, dwelt Prince Imrahil in his castle of Dol Amroth by the sea, and he was of high blood, and his folk also, tall men and proud, with sea-gray eyes. It's really interesting reading this as an adult, how ingrained the colonial mindset is in his descriptions.
Yeah, it really is. I don't, I can't find it in me to blame him, but yeah, it's problematic.
I'm not saying it necessarily to cast blame, although, you know, I could find it in me to blame him if I wanted to. But the point is, it's just like it's such an assumption on his part that this is how a society would be set up, that men would come over the sea to rule over those who were there before.
Right? And that those who were there before were automatically inferior in some way. No big deal. We're not going to bring it up, but you just are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would dearly have loved to read what Tolkien would write if he hadn't been indoctrinated in colonialism.
Same.
Right?
I would dearly love to read what any of us would write if we hadn't been indoctrinated in colonialism.
Oh my God, yeah. You know, it's just, yeah, it's about time to start to break the chains, because too many generations haven't bothered, because it's such a huge task that even those who see that it's a problem are like, yeah, but what? I think 5 generations they'll be like, I'm really glad that they did that back then, because otherwise we would have to now.
All right, where were we?
Osten Barner. No.
Nope. Tall men and proud with sea gray eyes and subconscious colonialism.
Yeah.
Now, after Gandalf had ridden for some time, the light of day grew in the sky, and Pippin roused himself and looked up. To his left lay a sea of mist, rising to a bleak shadow in the east. But to his right, great mountains reared their heads, ranging from the west to a steep and sudden end. As if in the making of the land, the river had burst through a great barrier, carving out a mighty valley to be a land of battle and debate in times to come. And there were the white mountains of Ered Nimrais, came to their end, he saw, as Gandalf had promised. And let me start over. This one got me. And there, where the white mountains of Ered Nimrais came to their end, he saw, as Gandalf had promised, the dark mass of Mount Mindaloon, the deep purple shadows of its high glens, and its tall face whitening in the rising day. And upon its outthrust knee was the guarded city with its 7 walls of stone, so strong and old that it seemed not to have been built, but carven by giants out of the bones of the earth. Even as Pippin gazed in wonder, the walls passed from looming gray to white, blushing faintly in the dawn. And suddenly the sun climbed over the eastern shadow and sent forth a shaft that smote the face of the city. Then Pippin cried aloud, for the tower of Ecthelion standing within. I just got a real Muppet Lord of the Rings vibe right
there. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh. All right, I'm going to take us on a further tangent before I can get back on track here. I was reading a thing about how the only way to remake Pride and Prejudice is Muppet Pride and Prejudice.
Oh yeah,
because only Kermit and Miss Piggy could be Darcy and Elizabeth, but Miss Piggy would be Darcy.
Oh, totally.
Even though your reading is inferior to my own, you must be my husband. Kermit, that's what you call a marriage proposal?
I've tried not to love you, and it's not working.
I shall go, and I shall not trouble you again. And like you'd have like what's his bucket?
Are you the reason my sister's heart is broken? Well, yeah.
I could also see Miss Piggy as a pretty good Caroline Bingley, but that's another story.
That's entirely possible. I would rather see her as Darcy, though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Fozzie would be Bingley.
Yes. Oh, and what's his name? The awful one. The awful one who told lies. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Wickham.
Wickham. Wickham would have to be Pepe. He's evil, okay? He's the reason I am so poor and sad. Look at me, all poor and sad.
And Lizzie's aunt and uncle that are like the only cool adults in the story would be Gonzo and Camilla.
Yes! Yes. Oh, man. Oh, tell me they threw parties. I can't remember.
Not
the parties
not
Gonzo would throw in Regency England.
Yeah, I don't think they did in the text, but you could work that in.
Right.
And I think the only human should be Mr. Collins.
Yes. And he should play it straight. Like, he has no idea the rest of them aren't human.
Completely just, he's a human in a Muppet movie, and it's a fact of life that he is trying to gay marry a frog puppet.
Yes, he is. But only so that because that's what is expected of both of them, and of course, Kermit will say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Well, good. Now that we've been thoroughly sidetracked, let's go back to the Tower of Icthalion.
Okay.
Standing high within the topmost wall, shone out against the sky, glimmering like a spike of pearl and silver, tall and fair and shapely, and its pinnacle glittered as if it were wrought of crystals, and white banners broke and fluttered from the battlements in the morning breeze, and high and far he heard a clear ringing as of silver trumpets. So Gandalf and okay, first of all, who the hell is blowing a trumpet at dawn? Some of us are trying to sleep.
Well, I'm picturing. How do you pronounce that? Reveille. Reveille. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Reveille.
I'm just picturing like a parent with a baby, just went down for a nap, and there they are on the goddamn silver trumpets again.
Right. God, I can't wait to get to Lossernach.
Why not just have a brass band while you're at it?
By the by, of all the characters they've cut, Prince Imrahil is the one that I miss the least, because he does nothing. He's just there, sort of like a cut price Aragorn, like, oh yeah, I'm his cousin and I live down in the cool part of Gondor, and I'm gonna come along for all of the adventures now, and it's not going to add anything to the story.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot he came along.
He's like, he invites himself to a party. It's like, and from there on in, he's in the, like, every time they fly flags, the white swan on the blue field is one of them, and I'm like, who are you again?
Look, every family has that cousin.
Yeah. Oh, I'm important. Like, yes, you are, honey. Of course you are. Here's your flag.
Hey guys, what are we doing? Who invited Imrahil? Also, I would wear a t-shirt that said "Who invited Imrahil?"
Oh God. I'll see what I can do.
So Gandalf and Peregrine rode to the great gate of the men of Gondor at the rising of the sun, and its iron doors rolled back before them. Mithrandir! Mithrandir! Men cried. Now we know that the storm is indeed nigh. Does anyone ever have anything nice to say to Gandalf when he comes to town? Like, hey, buddy, how you been?
Shit, it's you! We're doomed!
Right? Like, I just came for coffee. What's going on, guys?
And that's another scene that the Muppet version would have to have, is the entire town being like, oh God!
It's just Muppets running back and forth. The little rabbit dude from Muppet Christmas Carol just like screaming and jumping into a pile of hay.
People scattering. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Would Gandalf also be human? I feel like that could be really funny.
Yes. Yes, because he's like Mr. Plot Exposition, and he has to be played straight.
Mm-hmm.
But he could be surrounded, but Theoden could be a Muppet.
Mm-hmm. Theoden could be Dr. Teeth.
Oh, I would love that.
Which would make Eowyn Janice.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. But who are the 4 hobbits going to be? Tell me one of them can be Gonzo.
One of them I think Pippin probably has to be Gonzo.
Pippin should totally be Gonzo.
I feel like that it would be Fozzie,
Scooter,
Kermit, and Gonzo. Kermit, of course, would be Kermit is Frodo. Fozzie is Sam.
Scooter would make a really good Sam, but Fozzie is Kermit's Sam. So
I can't carry it.
What
Mr.
are you
Frodo.
waiting for?
I can't carry it, but I can carry you.
Oh, don't go where I can't follow. I can see Fozzie delivering that line.
Oh my God, I would weep.
I would cry so hard.
So hard. I'm not emotionally prepared to even imagine this.
And Shelob would have to just be a giant Muppet spider with like the strings visible and shit. And
I think the human characters would be Gandalf, Aragorn.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Wormtongue, but not Saruman.
Not Saruman. Possibly Galadriel.
Possibly.
And now I'm second guessing Aragorn. No, you have to have him, because when you have the 3 hunters, you gotta have a human to be the straight man.
That right, yeah. I'm thinking about which characters need to be played completely straight. Like Michael Caine in Muppet Christmas Carol, completely serious. And it's 100%. Gandalf, Aragorn.
Those are the biggies.
Those are the biggies. It would be a little bit funny if Denethor was human, but Faramir and Boromir weren't. I feel like Boromir ought to be Sweetums. I want to see Sweetums die and get kissed on the forehead by a human who's weeping. I would probably also weep. And he would be so freaking scary if he went nuts and started chasing Kermit around like, give me the ring! Right? Well, and especially if he had been like wearing armor and kind of humaned up to that point, and then he like takes it off and just becomes this big monster dude. Oh, man. Yeah. But then who would be Faramir? Who could be Sweetums' brother? Animal. Can we please have Mablung and Damrod be human? Captain, we found a couple of odd people. What should we do? Help them! Help them! People? Small people.
He wouldn't need any lines when he's in a room with Denethor. Just those giant eyebrows going like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then closing, and then turning away.
This is so sad with Muppets. Why is this so sad with Muppets? Who would be Legolas and Gimli? Bunsen and Beaker.
No, they don't have the right flavor. Although now I'm like, who would Bunsen and Beaker be?
Gorbag and Shagrat.
Oh god, the entire scene in the Tower of Kirith Ungol would be like fucking Meet the Feagles. That's what that would be. like that's, you saw it, right?
It's not like you. Wait. It's not like your lot did any better, Beaky. Look, burst. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's left
but
to be
Legolas and Gimli.
Legolas and Gimli?
Oh man.
Statler and Waldorf? No, they need to be. I feel like they would be
a running gag. Statler and Waldorf need to turn up in Rivendell as themselves and in Minas Tirith as themselves, maybe in Fangorn, just watching the whole thing from their little balcony in random ass spots. But who does that leave? We've got all our favorites decked out as hobbits.
We don't have a role for Miss Piggy because she should be Galadriel.
Yes.
Welcome. Moi and Galadriel.
Oh, hang on. Oh. If you have any ideas for which Muppets should be Legolas and Gimli, please leave a comment below. But hang on, I'm picturing the movies. Who else is there in the movies? There's so many. And you've already got Dr. Teeth covered.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the band really ought to just be the Rohirrim. Like, Éomer ought to be Floyd.
Especially this, like the scene where he meets and like has a dick measuring contest with Aragorn, but it's Floyd and just a human. Like,
hey man, we've got places to go. We got people dying here. Coming with us? Or do I have to kill you?
I'll give you my name, I'll give you my name, Horsemaster, if you give me yours. Man, like, I'm Éomer, okay? These are my guys. We've been all over
and stuff.
We've been all over the Rittermark hunting for orcs. We left none alive.
Did you see our friends? Our friends are with them. Oh. Yeah, no.
We didn't, like, see anyone.
No.
And the reason it works to have Animal be...
Why can't I think of more? Animal would make a good Gimli.
Well, I was thinking the reason it works to have Animal be Faramir is then he ends up with Eowyn and gets with the band.
I love it.
But yeah, what? Who's left?
Who is left? Who is left? We've got Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo and Scooter and Sweetums and Piggy and what about Robin?
Robin
He'd be Legolas.
He could be Legolas, but then who would be Gimli?
That's a good question. But whoever we figure out, if they're larger, Legolas could ride on Gimli's shoulder.
You know, no, I've figured it out. Legolas and Gimli are Gonzo and Rizzo.
Oh, they totally are.
I don't know who's going to be Pippin. Maybe Robin could be Pippin.
There we go. That would work.
Yes, but they absolutely have to. Like, I don't know why this wasn't the first thing on our minds.
I don't know which is which. I couldn't see either of them.
Either way would be so
You
funny.
would die before your stroke fell.
I can't do a Rizzo voice.
Give me your name, Horsemaster. No, he's got like a kind of Joyzy thing going on, doesn't he?
Give me your name, Horsemaster, and I shall give you mine. I almost think it's funnier the other way around, just because I'm picturing Rizzo in like a little archer costume and Gonzo with an axe.
Gonzo did kind of have a thing for Piggy in some of the earlier movies. And what gift would whatever you are, ask of the elves? A piece of hair. What?
I want this to be real so much. I would watch this 18,000 times.
We'll start a petition.
The only problem, though, is that we'd have to give Disney rights to Lord of the Rings in order to do it.
Haven't they bought New Line yet?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure they will sometime. No, we'll just give them parody rights. That covers a lot.
That's true. Oh God, that'd be, and it would be so funny.
You would die before your stroke fell. Oh.
Hang on. Adam will know love the bright sword for its sharpness, or arrow for swiftness. Adam will only love what they protect.
Oh, can I do a Kermit? Aya Elbereth, and then the other Calabar. Oh.
This was a very productive use of our time today.
This is why it's taken us 2 years to get through 2 books.
Do you want to see how much we read today? So, here's where I started, and over here, right here is where I stopped.
But we were so productive.
We read the entire movie. I want credit for that.
The future internet archaeologists had better have some film rights ready to and some money to fling around because
if you could just get like the right people to play the humans.
Yeah. Skeet Ulrich is finally old enough to be Aragorn.
Who? Hang on.
Skeet Ulrich was slated to play Aragorn, and when he arrived, they were like, "Oh shit, he's too young." That's why Viggo was a last-minute choice.
It wasn't Skeet Ulrich.
Who was it?
What's his bucket from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Stuart
No.
Yeah, Stuart Townsend.
Was it? Okay.
Skeet Ulrich.
Well, they both look the same. They look exactly the same. I defend myself. They're the same person.
I just Googled them and I was like, oh no, I see why you made that mistake.
Thank you. Stuart Townsend is finally old enough.
I don't think he's a good enough actor.
Maybe not, but we've never seen him act with Muppets. Maybe that's where he shines.
Could be. I mean, I've only seen him in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Queen of the Damned, and those were both very bad movies.
It wasn't his fault.
I'm not saying I didn't like them. I'm just saying they were bad. I was trying to explain this to some people yesterday about Mega Shark versus the Giant Octopus, which is a terrible movie that I love a whole lot.
Yeah. And they didn't understand it?
I think some of them did. Some of them were just like, what?
I have an adoration for riff tracks and Mystery Science Theater, and in order to love those, I have to love bad movies. Oh, we watched such a terrible movie. Did I tell you about Monster Hunters?
Yes.
Yeah,
you did.
That one was fun to riff. Mia Jovovich was acting way too well for that movie.
She frequently does.
She knocked it out of the park, and there were moments where I was like, you brought that to this?
You gotta respect the hustle.
Right? It's whew. There's a line that, again, Doug Walker, no, it's one of the other people on Nostalgia Critic says about Tim Curry. For every 1-star movie he's in, he's the reason for the 1 star.
That is a fact.
All right.
Darling. I will see you.
I guess I'm reading next week. We'll see if we can make it through the fields.
The section that we didn't get through was 3 paragraphs long.
But Pippin cried out.
Pippin cried out, and then we started talking about Muppets, and then it was all over. But like, seriously, hang on, let me find it again. This is the section we did not make it through.
The light hit the towers, and Pippin goes, ah!
I feel that way in the morning too. I have to be in my office tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Oh, dear God. Okay, I let you go eat, go to bed. I love you.
I love you too.
Cuidado.
Llamas.